Hello, it's Dawn of the New Era, and today we are going to do an empaths clearing and protection class. So if you're on here, if you've showed up to this video, you are 99.9% most positively, I'm sure you're an empath. Empaths, I mean, naturally as human beings, we can be empathic, but we are all empathic to certain levels and degrees. If you are a healer, if you are a nurse, an earth angel, these are all different archetypes that can be extremely empathic. A lot of the new generation coming in, the Gen Zs, they are extremely highly empathic. So if you have young children, this video is going to give you some really important suggestions to help keep them protected as well. I will never forget the first time I went to a psychic fair and there was just energy, pew, 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 going everywhere. That was the day I found out I was an empath. Luckily, I was with a shamanic healer and a practitioner, and as I left, I felt almost sick to my stomach from everything that I had absorbed. And he said, well, some of the tools I'm going to teach you today, he got out the salt and he was like, rub it all over your body, rub it all over your energy field. And immediately my stomach felt better. And that was my first experience with clearing my energy. So let's start with protection, right? We'll start with how to protect yourself, and then we'll go into nightly clearing, and then clearing yourself if you have absorbed a lot. So there's different levels, different tools. But as for everyday protection, if you are an empath, you need to have the Bach Flower Remedy Pink Yarrow. And you can put a couple, this is so gentle. Dr. Bach, he made these so gentle. They are good for a couple drops in like a baby's sippy cup, if you notice that they're empathic. I just go ahead and take a few drops under the tongue, connect with the pink color that the pink yarrow plant has, and imagine it going into my aura or my bubble. And then I say the affirmation, please let me see through the eyes of love and only let me receive that which is love. And basically this puts a nice soft buffer in your auric shield. A lot of us who have had a lot of PTSD, a lot of trauma, or any kind of hard event, we get what I would call, or what I see energetically as a medium, tears in our aura. So this is also very good to fill the holes in your aura so that you're not just absorbing other people's pain, suffering, or energy. Now, for to prevent an energetic attack or being bombarded, so you wouldn't want to do this every day, I recommend a tincture called the Devil's Club. Yeah, I know, the name is a little intense. Scratch any religious connection to it. It's simply a plant. It also is really good for upper respiratory issues as well. But the Devil's Club is so cool. So before I go to a concert, visit a friend or a family member in the hospital, God forbid, Walmart, someplace like that, where you know the energy is going to be so intense, psychic fair. You want to do the same thing. So you connect with the plant first, thank it for its medicine, and then put a few drops under your tongue, close your eyes, and imagine. Again, up in your auric bubble or field, but this time what you'll see or imagine is like, I think of it as like Sleeping Beauty when her castle gets the thorns growing around it. This tincture, this medicine or protective tincture will allow this thorny protector to go in your aura, and it lasts about 24 hours. So it will make you more invisible. You don't want to do it like before a date because it does block a lot of energy coming in and out, but not all. So Devil's Club for the really intense times, or if your aura is just feeling fragile and you need to be a little bit more hidden. The color red and white are really the most protective colors. I know wearing black every day looks sleek and cute, and I mean, I love it. I love being in all black. It makes you look sophisticated. You don't want to be wearing it all the time as an empath. And you don't want to be wearing it in spaces of ceremony, circles, places where people might be releasing energy, because black absorbs. Of course, white reflects. Red protects. Recently, I went to an ecstatic dance party in Columbus, Ohio, and they had a guest medicine man from Mexico. And he had his red scarf wrapped around his hara. The hara is a place for empaths, healers, sensitives, where a lot of energy can come in and out during ceremony. So covering up the hara either with the hand or using red is great. You can also just wear red. Oftentimes if I'm going to do a shamanic journey, I'll just place this over my head or around me, just knowing that that red is adding that extra layer of protection. You can always call in your guides too, right? You can just say, I personally love Archangel Michael. See, I said his name. He has like this whole legion of angels, and they've got their swords of light, and they are on it. And it's literally just, hey, Archangel Michael. And that angel of protection will come in with his crew. Now, there was a time I worked with Poseidon too. So if you're more of a watery person, less of a fiery person, Poseidon's a really great protector as well. But there's all different types of allies, ascended masters, and guides you can work with. That's just my favorite for protection. Now, a word to the wise. One of the things I've realized over the last few years with myself and then my clients, when they're having issues, when you're having nightmares, when you're having weird things happen in your house, is that mirrors are portals. So if you're a sensitive, if you're an empath, you want to cover your mirrors. So every night I cover my bedroom mirror, because if I sleep next to or through a mirror that has become a portal, I will receive funky energy from who knows where in the universe. Now, there's also different crystals for protection. That's a quick Google. There's different visualizations you can do, but that's basically all of them, except for there is one more, covering your head. Covering your head will also give you extra protection, especially if you're telepathic or you get messages from the universe. If you need a break, as an empath, just cover your head with a hat or a scarf. And we'll talk about next clearing. Clearing is imperative. We absorb so much stuff in our aura, in our hearts, in our bodies, in our minds. So there's so many different ways to do it. One of the most popular ways in our society is smudging. So smudging, taking sage or sweetgrass or cedar, other sacred herbs, lighting them and taking a feather or just placing it around our aura. Now, if you are going to use a sacred plant to clear your aura, again, you might want to call in the spirit of the plant. That's helpful, and thank it. But also you want to crack a window, because if you're releasing anything through smoke and it dislodges from your aura field, you want to send it out the window and envision it going into the ground. Because if you're smudging yourself in a place where all the windows are sealed, it's just bouncing off the walls. It's going to go into you or someone else. Be aware of that and send it out into the ground or to a tree. Cutting cords. So 3 ways to cut cords. If you lead circles, if you've been to a circle, if you even go to a work meeting, after a yoga class, anytime you're intimate with a person or a group of people, you want to do a reset afterwards. Because as an empath, you might be taking on, it's not that you're taking on, but you're connecting, right? Maybe through the heart, maybe through the mind. And what happens, because we're made of 70% energy, very little matter, is we're connecting cords with each other. So after, say, my 45-minute weekly meditation, I have my students just do cord cutting with their hands. So this is from a theta practice, where you put your left hand, if you want to try it with me now, put your left hand in front of you, about heart about where your heart is, and then take your other hand, your right hand, palm to palm, create friction, and just imagine your aura field. Imagine and maybe check in. Who am I connected to with right now afterwards? I was just connecting, say, with a couple clients. And so you create that friction to cut the cords, scoop the one in the front, the left, cutting the cords, taking the left hand, scooping in the back, and then taking your hands and opening them and sending those cords back. To me, they look like little umbilical cords or energetic cords that look like umbilical cords. And imagine the cord going back to its owner. And I like to take the cord and put a heart around it and seal them up in love. Thank you for the connection, but now your energy is yours and my energy is mine. You can also use a feather or a knife. So if you're doing energetic cord cutting on someone else, I have a knife, a specific knife that I use when I do shamanic healings and clearings on people. Of course, a knife is a bit sharper than the feather, so this is for like the big thick ones. If you're an intuitive and an empath and a healer, you're gonna see big old cords going into people. And when you're working on them in your Reiki or shamanic sessions, you just saw the cord. If the cord's ready to be cut, as an intuitive and an empath, you want to check in and make sure that that cord is supposed to be dislodged. And then the feather can also gently scoop things that aren't as lodged into the meridians. So you can do yourself or you can do others. And there are times, so I do psychic readings during the day, and I like to shift the energetic field in between sessions. You could do this in between clients if you're a therapist, again, if you're a nurse, if you're whatever your practice is or your work in the world, it's nice to use sound to clear so that you're not carrying in the energy of the last activity into the next. If you notice, if you go to like a meditation, they'll ring the bell. I do this as well in between clients. I ring a little bell to close, clear. And then the last recommendation I have is back to the sea salt. So Himalayan sea salt is my favorite. Again, it's got that pink. I love that energy of compassion. You know, you can also sprinkle a little bit in your water to get those 84 ionic minerals. Sea salt it's everything. And you can put this in your bath. I actually made my own sea salt spray so that I can spray my aura, spray others' aura, and then use this to clear out things. But there's nothing wrong with just taking some and rubbing it on your body when you need a deep, deep cleanse. So that's it. That's my recommendations for going out into the world, protected, and then coming home and clearing. This is energetic self-care.
Want more? Become a member today. For $25 a month, you'll receive exclusive content and access to our online library full of classes to take anytime, anywhere.